the quote unquote $1 million question. How do independent filmmakers find their money? And I'm going to give because I feel that maybe Charles and Jake are like, don't have perspective on what they're doing. So I'm going to summarize what they are doing. And then you guys correct me if I'm way wrong, because I spoke with you very briefly about this, but I watched some promos. So this is a test to see if your promos are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So
okay.
Jake and Charles founded a film festival called Studio Fest. And this was their 3rd year. And so the principle of this festival is that they are looking for the work. They are screening short films, and the winner, afterwards you can correct me up on all these mistakes. So there's one winner chosen, one filmmaker by an audience. Maybe I'm wrong on that. One writer, one director. And they are, I'm getting it wrong. They are paired up. And what Charles and Jake does, the mission of the festival is they will fund their first feature film, which is a totally unique and novel approach to a festival. It's basically what every independent filmmaker assumes or hopes when they get into a festival is like, I made it. I got the golden ticket. All the producers are going to come up to me, all the financiers, my first feature, no problem. I'll be shooting next summer. That's basically never the case. It's never that simple. So this festival was founded with that intention to support up-and-coming filmmakers with their first feature film. Jake, Charles, and Charles's partner Jess will produce the project, see it through from beginning to end, including distribution, which we're going to get to in a moment. How do I do, guys? And then you take it from there.
It's close. It's pretty close. But don't. It's actually it's been really difficult to quickly and easily convey all of this.
Yeah, it's hard to do the one sentence version.
Yeah. But generally, yes. So myself, Jake, and Jess, we are all producers, founders of Studio Fest, and just like you said, we were going to festivals, not getting out of those festivals what we wanted, and decided that we were going to try and do something that was going to streamline the process for filmmakers. You know, we were going to festivals that weren't the big markets, you know, so we're not necessarily talking about the big markets, but like we'd go to something out in Richmond, Virginia, and the theater would be empty. And, you know, the only people there in the industry were other filmmakers who are all looking for the same opportunities you are looking for. And so, you know, sort of dismayed, we're like, let's just make something that cuts out all the fat, that does exactly what we want in a festival, which is picks a writer and a director, so 2 separate people. And this is a little in flux right now because we're working through our formula. But as of where it stands right now is we pick a writer and a director. 5 writers and 5 directors are invited to our festival each year. They show their short films. We do excerpt readings from their feature-length scripts for the writers. And at the end of the weekend, a much more intimate weekend than other festivals where they get to meet and talk at a sort of a really different level with our judges and ourselves. At the end of the weekend, we pick 1 writer, 1 director to pair up, and we'll be financing, producing their debut feature film that they come together to create an idea with our guidance, brand new, on a micro budget. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a really incredible kind of idea, and the fact that you were able to actually put it into fruition is amazing. Let me just ask the obvious question: where does the financing come from?
Yeah, so the first film came from Jess and I, actually, predominantly. And we're in New York, we're working those commercial jobs. You know, I like to joke that Souvenirs was brought to you by Walmart because I was doing a lot of Walmart commercial work. And so Jess and I put up the financing for that. We said, you know, 50 grand was the cash budget, but then we went and got partnerships, leveraging Studio Fest as a festival, as a brand, and got partnerships with Herd City, which is a great mix facility in New York. They do a lot of commercials. And Marmoset Music, who's a really great music aggregation site. It's where you can, you know, pull. Jake, you've been working a lot with their assets.
And it's also creation. Is that, yeah, they have a bunch of in-house musicians and a bunch of people that license their stuff through it. So it's not just like a stock site. They also create original things. And yeah.
And then ShareGrid, some people might be familiar with, which is like a sort of a peer-to-peer rental system for film equipment. And they sponsored us. They heavily subsidized the cost of things. So a lot of the money went directly to the cast and crew and team members. And so overall, at the end of the day, we've elevated our budget. What is it called? In-kind budget closer to $200,000 rather than $50,000.
I will tell you, I did not know that you guys put up your own money. That is insane. I will tell you why that's insane, but I'm sure you already know why that's insane. To all the viewers out there, I'm sorry to tell you that making money back in the independent film world is really, really difficult and takes a long time. So the fact, Charles, that you and Jeff put up your own money, why? Is it because you believed in this idea so much, or you reached out to financiers and you couldn't find anybody and you had the dates for the festival? I mean, is this the plan from now on, is to continue to self-finance these films?
It's not. And here's the deal. I think this is something that's so critical for filmmakers to understand, is that it is a film business. There's a business side of it. And so what we're paying attention to is, rather than what you're talking about is making individual films can be really difficult to make your money back. But that's why Studio Fest isn't just a singular film. It's an ecosystem. So we have a pre-marketing campaign, and that's the festival. We have something that is alluring to investors, and that's the fact that we are a studio. Whereas individual films, unless you've built your name, and which is incredibly hard, even when you've built your name, you have people like Martin Scorsese that he still struggles to get financing for films. What's the one we were talking about, Jake? That was
I think it wasn't The Irishman, maybe. I can't remember which one it was, but
yeah. So it's incredibly difficult. But if you can reduce the risk of investors, you become that much more attractive and easier to bring into, and easier to get financing. So the next films we've already gotten predominantly, like a large portion, financed through investors, because we have a larger system, a larger ecosystem than just one-off films. Now they know that if they're investing in something, we have the relationships, we're bringing it to it. We have the track record as producers that we're bringing to it. And yeah, we have just a lot more to offer than a one-off film might typically offer.
And I think a key to that too is that if you were just putting up your money for one film one time, none of that 150,000 extra added value through sponsorships and everything would have probably come in, because it's just for a one-off film, And so the festival and the structure around it is what drew in that additional stuff. So there is some of your own money in it, but it's a movie that looks and sounds and is bigger than what that number would otherwise indicate, and therefore it's got a lot better shot at making its money back. So, and then some, maybe. So,
right.